So, while this may not be the Moritz Seider update you were hoping for, this is, in and of itself, an update indeed, which is why I wanted to make this video here about the Red Wings' latest Calder winner, the best defenseman on the team, maybe? I guess you could probably say that. Yeah, I don't think that's too inaccurate of an assessment to make. And just the big, lean German machine himself. Let's go over on to, what is this website called? You're going to have to work with me here. pennydel.org. And this article they published saying, Iskat uf den... Okay, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to translate this article into English and read what this DEL website has to say. Ice cold to the point with Moritz Seider from July 21, 2022. Now, that was actually a while ago. It's been about 2 weeks since this piece on Seider was published, but translating all the contents of the article into English, you can see this publication is going over national player Moritz Seider on winning the Calder Memorial Trophy in the NHL. He is the absolute high flyer in German ice hockey in recent years, and he's really turning it up in the NHL. So much so that just over 3 weeks ago, Moritz Seider was voted the Rookie of the Year in the top league in the world. Today, he is a guest here on our podcast. The last few months have been like a dream for Seider. It doesn't get any better than that. The defender performed incredibly well in Sweden with Regla and received top marks, and back with the Red Wings, who loaned him out, things got even better. Seider plays well and presents himself physically at eye level with the greats of his guild. Of course, there has to be the question of how he deals with all of this and how he processes it. You will hear the answers here today, and at the same time, hear a formula for success from Moritz too. He doesn't think too much about it, he enjoys the here and now, and he has full focus on the daily work on and off the ice. He is currently in Germany to recharge his batteries for the new season. He also revealed how and why he really wants to improve his golf game, that he has planned another holiday in Switzerland, and that he's looking forward to his grandmother's 70th birthday before he gets back on the plane to America. With the Red Wings, Seider would then like to take the next step and take on even more responsibility within the team. So that was a pretty nice write-up here, an introduction to what is essentially a podcast interview done here with Moritz Seider from July 21st. If you don't speak German, then yeah, you probably don't really need to listen to this. I tried to listen to it myself, and I didn't really understand anything. So yeah, that's my bad for not being German. But we actually had ourselves a rough translation done here on NHL.com. Now, the actual thing is NHL.com/DE, which is, I believe, the German version of NHL.com, but if you translate this article into English, you could see a little bit more as to what exactly the comments were made by Seider. Seider aims for the playoffs with Detroit. We can trust ourselves. NHL's German 32 and 32 crew ended up talking to Moritz Seider, who would like to end the sporting dry spell of the Red Wings and mature into a leading player himself. This was written by Oliver Jensen, published 2 days ago on August 3rd, and you could see that right away in the article, translated from German into English, that a lot of these quotes are just quotes from that podcast on the DEL website. It's a huge honor to be able to accept such an award at all. It's an incredible confirmation of the work you do, says Seider in a recent interview with the DEL podcast Ice Cold to the Point. However, he himself did not give too much thought to whether or not he could win the award beforehand. Now, before we go over that, I just wanted to highlight here Moritz Seider before stepping into the NHL and being the Calder caliber defenseman that he was. I'm not gonna lie, man, I honestly didn't really think he would win the Calder either. I didn't think he would have as good of a season as he did, mostly because all the seasons we had seen prior to had been a lot more just training wheel sessions, especially in Germany. We've documented this a few times, but in his year with the Adler Mannheim and the DEL, Moritz Seider was pretty much told not to do any offensive things. He was told to stick around at the blue line, not really jump up into the play offensively, really work on his defensive shutdown game. Now, sure, you could say that sort of tanked his draft stock, but he still went 6th overall, albeit in a very surprising manner. The next few seasons saw him put up half a point a game each in the Grand Rapids Griffins and the Regla BK in the SHL, so I was kind of thinking, okay, he's good offensively, like he'll probably max out as a 40-45 point D-man, and he'll be stable enough to contribute defensively as well and potentially be a number 1 physical shutdown guy. But we saw in this previous season that the guy just doesn't really do anything wrong. Even when he has the puck in the offensive zone, even when he's manning a power play, He can do some really good creative things out there, and he does the right play 99% of the time, and it's why he got 50 points in 82 games played as a first-year NHL defender, and it's why he ran away with the Calder Trophy this year, because it wasn't just his offense, it was everything else around that made this player profile such an attractive piece heading into the long-term future. He's only 21 years old. You gotta remember that. You might not really feel that he's 21 when you watch his tape from 21-22, but man, this is a young player. He's very, very good already, and this is kind of what he had to say about the Calder Trophy and the process of him actually winning the award. Actually, I was always teased about it on the team because we have another contender on the team, Lucas Raymond, who was very keen to being a finalist as well, so it was always fun. We were always teased about each other if maybe one played a better game than the other, or if we both played a great game, said Seider. Here are some other quotes from Seider in this podcast as published on NHL.com. It was an advantage for Seider to have a player in the dressing room who was almost the same age and had a similar level of playing ability. You enjoyed having someone by your side who is going through the same thing. I didn't expect it to end so positively, he said. The defender from Zell knows that his strong rookie season has raised expectations. However, he does not feel too much pressure. You live the day and you enjoy the time with the boys, and you have a lot of fun doing it, so pressure is not an issue. You're just happy that the others support you, and you can share that. For me, the idea is that the team always comes first, so it's a relatively easy thing for me to deal with. He also retained his youthful looseness. I'm doing well with it. For me, it's just important to be able to look in the mirror and at the end of the day say that I haven't pretended and that I've stayed myself. That's a beautiful quote. Of course, you also accept one or two criticisms that help you progress, but you don't have to let everything get to you, he explains. And I absolutely love that, man. That is, like, pure wisdom from a 21-year-old right there. Being able to say, yeah, I look in the mirror, and I just hope that I can see somebody who is really true to himself and not pretending. Now, I don't really know how that relates to hockey, to be honest, but I think it's just some pretty cool life advice that Seider is kind of spewing out there on the podcast. But now, when it comes to starting out his second season, Seider says the anticipation is slowly building. We've got a lot of new players, especially in free agency. I think everyone's looking forward to meeting the new faces. We'll have a really good time then. This is what he says about the way that last season's team was constructed in general. We had a really cool mix of older guys who have been in the NHL for 10 or 11 years and know what it's all about, and young players who are my age who need to hone their skills and earn their names on the jersey. You learn something new every day. And now, for some of the last quotes on this interview, I think a lot of Red Wings fans are going to be happy to see this. This is what Seider says about trying to make the playoffs. We want to take the next step and play for the playoff places all season. I think we can do that. We've got a lot of new guys who have shown at their old clubs that they are absolute leaders and have leadership qualities. We need that. We also have some young players who now know how it works. We're ready to do it to take the next step. Of course, a lot has happened here in Detroit. We have to make sure that everything meshes and that we become one. Seider would like to do his part, and not as a talent, but as a top performer and maybe even a leader too. Of course, you want to take on more responsibility, and like last season, you want to be on the ice in all situations and be there at the key moments, he clarifies. Adding confidently, you don't have to hide anymore when you do something you want to address. The most important thing for me is just to lead by example on the ice, as that is all he has control over. So, all in all, Moritz Seider, 21 years old, speaking like a true veteran in the NHL and not like somebody who had just completed his rookie season winning the Calder Award. But when it comes to this interview on the German podcast, I really do think that he has some great things to say. It's just unfortunate that I, like many of the other Red Wings fans that are trying to tune in and soak up all the Red Wings content we can get, are not actually able to listen to this because we don't understand German. So very big shout out to the writer here on NHL.com/DE, Oliver Jensen, who pretty much transcribed a lot of what it was that Seider said in text form so we can translate it via Google. Articles are going to both be linked in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to the podcast and or read the NHL.com piece. But talk to me in the comments as well. What do you think about Moritz Seider and his interview, the things he said about the upcoming season, how he felt about last season, him winning the Calder, him competing with Raymond, him being with Raymond as young guys, brand new, fresh into the National Hockey League. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this Juraj 99. And bye.